Ernie is 61 years old. Don't he look like he's 22?
He look like 40 years old.
What up, everybody? This is how we start every service. I gotta get here and make sure all the sound is set up. They're doing their morning huddle. I am at my lowest of energy. I am at my lowest of socialness. I'm gonna wake up and be social in 2 seconds. But yeah, so if you don't know what I do every Sunday, I set up a live stream, make sure the sound is right, make sure everything is right, make sure everybody has everything they need. And then when I have to preach, things go a little different. I have to go up and change, kind of get my notes and everything together, come back down and make sure everything is moving the way it's supposed to be. So look at everything, watch everything. Oh, and we gotta, like, you know, this is awkward for people here. So a big camera in their face is gonna throw them off. Yeah, so we'll be fine. That's Idris. Idris is another.
What's up, man? I really don't want to be on this camera right now, but it's okay. How you doing?
God, we know that the cost to reach the future is the former things. Those things that were even good.
That's Megan. She's praying. You probably can't hear me.
We do see,
she's praying,
when we look back,
decreeing,
the wonderful things
declaring.
that you've done, but we know
she starts out in a prophetic song
greater.
oftentimes, and then she goes into prayer.
There's something
But
even better that you have in your future.
Gotta go upstairs and try to get dressed in 10 minutes
As
and come back down
individuals,
so that the sound
and
can
as
be
a
done.
body, as a city, as a state, as a
You a
country,
sound
as
man,
a world.
tech man, something, and you want to come to Racine, Wisconsin to work?
You lead us from
Hit
glory
me up so I ain't got to do this no more. Come
to
on.
glory.
That's Isaiah. This is Ernie. Ernie is 61 years old. How old are you?
61.
Ernie is 61 years old. Don't he look like he's 22?
He look like 40 years old.
That's Jamila.
Jamila ain't got no lashes on today, so let's.
That's Apostle.
Hey, good people.
So I normally have like 10 minutes to get dressed and figure it out. My little ensemble today. I've been told to do like preaching, get ready with me videos, but I feel like it's too carnal. And I know people, you didn't focus on the word. You out here, da-da-da. It takes me 10 minutes to get dressed. It takes me 8 hours to prepare a message. Well, more, a week to prepare something for God's people. So I'm not putting more effort into this than I am into the word, trust me. We're gonna get dressed, we're gonna change, we're gonna figure this thing out and get some stuff going. There's so much to do on a Sunday. It kind of gets overwhelming. And then you gotta be a people person. You gotta be, hey, hi. And I'm an introvert, so I don't get energy from people. I'm so drained right now from just saying hi to 17 people. And so this is what I do. I got Grande Nitro cold brew, and I got some tea to offset it. Coffee is so disgusting, you gotta chase it. And so I get this and I drink a whole cup of this. This is like extremely high caffeine. You can't even get it in a bigger cup because it's like illegal. So this is extremely high caffeine. This shoots me up and gets my energy going so I can engage with people and like do what I gotta do. Cause I don't wanna shortchange people and not, you know, all those things. And typically, when I preach, I don't necessarily preach like by notes, but I take a lot of notes. And like I prepare a lot, but I preach by revelation. So I study myself full, write myself clear, and pray myself empty. And so I am, what I was up here doing before you guys came up here is I was just writing down some last minute notes, and I take them from my laptop and I transfer them over to this little iPad so I can get up there. I'm a minimalist when I preach. I don't like having a lot of things up there. I don't like having a laptop. You know those guys that pull up a big old laptop and just sit it there and be preaching. I don't like doing that. I'll go up there with my iPad, or at the most I'll go up there with my iPad and my Bible. And and probably won't really look at either one of them, and just preach straight, you know, the revelation God has given me. So today's message is a part of a series we've been doing here. I'm preaching the last message of the series. It's called RAPP, R-A-P-P. My dad was in prayer, and God gave him like this strategy for the month of September. We haven't had any praise and worship singing during this month. We've been rebuilding and rebooting our praise and worship team and kind of just redefining what we see as prayer, what we see as praise, and all those things. And so RAPP means reflect, assess, plan, and progress. I am the message on progression. And what the Lord spoke to me about was the spirit of delay. So today's message is going to be called No More Delay. What impedes our progress to the promise? What impedes our progress or our progression to what God has for us? We're going to walk through the story in the life of Joshua. We're going to walk through what God did with him. We're going to walk through what kept the Israelites from going into the promise. This is uncomfortable for me because I like to preach something new every time I preach, but sometimes God has an assignment on a word that he wants to just keep going for like a couple of weeks. And so this is something we've been talking about in our Tuesday talks. I've been talking about it in other assignments that I've had. I've had to preach about 3 times within the last 2 weeks. And so this is something that God's been like just doing this whole time. And it is a different message, but it's the same topic. We're dealing with the children of Israel. The children of Israel is God's example of how he gets us from deliverance to destiny in the process in the middle. So we're going to walk through all of that and what delays our progress, what delays our process, what delays us from getting what God has for us. I don't think that God wants you in delay. And so, yeah. Let me get dressed, and I'm going to see y'all as soon as I'm dressed. I was trying to listen to them pray and messed up my time. Let me explain something to y'all. When you are dealing with service and when you're dealing with like services and like ministry moments, Sunday expressions, one of the things that I learned is that atmosphere is everything. Some people think that black people are just emotional and we just do too much, but that's not necessarily the case. There has to be certain atmospheres set. So when you think about Elisha, he was getting ready to prophesy, and a king needed a word. Elisha said, "Bring me a minstrel." The minstrel started playing, and the Spirit of God started to flow. The atmosphere started to shift and change. Who you have playing instruments, who you have ministering in that way is important. And who you allow to pray before a service is important. There's a difference between your personal prayers and like corporate prayer. And I think for corporate prayer, we kind of miss the importance of setting the right atmosphere. The atmosphere has to be set. The atmosphere has to be set. So that's what they in there doing, setting the atmosphere. This is a good Sunday. People are full of high expectation. I never wore this before. I was saving it for, I guess, a special occasion. But now we're wearing it. I got this from a guy called Fits by Rag. Fits by Rag. And got the Doc Martens on with it. If don't nobody like it, my mama is. My mama's gonna like it. Let's get it. Get Audrey.
In the little garment, he says, "Hey, we got to get down there. There's a fight happening down there, and we got to go help them." Moses says, "They not down there fighting." He says, "It's not the sound of victory. It's not the sound of laughter. against God. I'm going to explain that differently so you get it. Everyone in the church is having a praise break. But Joshua, because he hears at a different level, he sees that they're having a praise break over something false. Oh, he sees that they're worshiping something off. So it's the people where you can be in here and be screaming and be happy and you can sense God ain't in here.
You better say it.
Has that ever been you? To be in an atmosphere where you can hear and sense, yes, she's crying, she passed out, all these things. Something ain't right. God ain't here. To him it sounded like war. Moses had to give him proper interpretation to say, no, they're worshiping another God. Joshua was going to come down and start chopping heads off. Moses had to give him clarity on what he was feeling. This is why it's important to have the right leader. Because you can hear something and be right spiritually, but handle it wrong. And you need somebody to tell you how to handle it. You need somebody to tell you what to do with it. Stop being a lone ranger thinking that nobody should cover you. And start to really understand that God will send people to give you clarity for the right thing you're hearing. You're hearing it right, but you're about to tear some stuff up. Shut up, sit down, and wait.